What's going on TikTok? Welcome back to the channel. It is currently tea time. This is usually the time of the night that I review my day trades for the day. So today we're going to take a look at how I did. I brought in just under $1,500 day trading today. I traded 7 stocks. 3 of them were losers and 4 of them were winners. So yeah, we are going to get into the charts. I'm going to show you guys how I traded some of these. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you guys learned something. Let's go.
So going over today's day trading results, today I brought in just under $1,500. Here are all the 7 stocks that I traded today. 3 of them were losers and 4 of them were winners. So let's take a look at some of these. Okay, starting with Tesla. Tesla today, I was long biased, from my morning watch list. And the reason that I was long biased was because, when we look here at Tuesday during the pre-market, we were already, pushing through the previous day's resistance levels. We were kind of popping up. Price looked like it was making higher lows. And so my plan was to stay long biased until we got to this area right here, which would have been $147. Now, I know for some of you, this might look, kind of simple and you might not think that, these are good reasons to create trading pieces, but that's how I trade. I'm pretty simple. I just follow the trend and I don't make it too complicated. So now let's look at my entries that I tried to pull off for this long, and I'll show you guys how I kind of made a mistake actually on my entries. So coming into the open, this one share was just my alert, and I slowly began to scale into my long position. And over here I'm pretty much at a decent size, and what happened was we got this price kind of pushed up. I put my stop because I knew that if price came all the way down, it would just stop me out for a loss and continue to flush, especially because now we're at a very key support level. Okay, when key support breaks, it usually breaks pretty hard. And as you see right here, boom, I get taken out of my position. And so now at this point, I have no trade on and I'm just waiting. And price then begins to rally. And at this point I knew, okay, I had missed the move. And so I enter with 100 shares and I called this a wide risk entry because I have to risk to at least below here, right? It doesn't make any sense to risk anywhere else. And I also can't take too much size because then I'll be risking too much for this kind of move. And yeah, price kind of runs at least $3. This is 142s, it gets to 145s, and yeah, so over here I took out 50, and right here I tried what I call like a very tight risk entry with more size, and I was basically just risking off these lows, and yeah, price kind of took me out, so I took the whole position off. But altogether, not too bad, $500, considering that I didn't even have that much size on the trade. And again, looking at the key level, which was right here, okay? And you kind of understand why I stopped out, because price was actually breaking through this support. Right, so it made sense that this trade thesis that I had was now invalid because support had broken. So I'm not that upset that I actually took the trade off because in hindsight this could have also just been the beginning of a pretty substantial move to the downside. So that's how I traded Tesla. Obviously, it made a crazy move, and yeah, I missed it. But that's part of the game. Let's go on to the next stock. So looking at the next stock, ALK, I was short biased on the stock today, And again, looking at the very basic price structure, we had the stock was uptrending the entire week. Monday cracked through the uptrend line, flushed, reclaimed, and to me, this looked weak. So I kind of had pretty good level to, kind of risk off of and, you know, create a trading plan. So now let's get into my execution. So looking at my executions for the stock ALK, once I had, my thesis in mind, I had that bigger picture of what I wanted to do with this stock. Especially once we saw, price kind of move and get stuffed again. On the backside, I am now entering short. So you see, like, I entered 500 shares, I covered 250, and unfortunately, I do hold my positions to, the price target that I actually have in mind. And sometimes, stocks kind of, just rally on up and take me out for break even. So I think over here I took off 250, and so I have like 300 shares left, and then that's what this is right here. Price comes back, stops me out, and that's fine. I then waited, I watched, again price rallies, stops, comes down, I shorted again. This time I covered some, and what happened right here was I had, I think, like 750 shares left. It was I took a pretty decent sized short over here, and I honestly just got impatient. Like, this was around 2 p.m. already, and it looked like it just was not going to unwind. It looked like it might just start to hold and drift up again. So I just took the position off. Obviously, that was not the best move, because in hindsight, price just sells off a few minutes after I got out of my position. But again, that's part of trading, you don't know. And yeah, that was pretty much how I handled this trade on ALK. Now looking at AMD, I was long biased on AMD today. This was pretty much the setup that I was watching. As you see, this downtrend line is pretty key. We had an uptrend line, so my focus was on this area for the potential breakout. During the morning, or right at the open, we actually broke out, and so I was interested in this for a long around this area. So let's look at how I played the stock. This was actually kind of a tricky stock, as you see from just these candles on the 7-minute chart. I mean, it's pretty choppy, and that makes trading these pretty difficult sometimes. So let's take a look. So taking a look at my AMD trade, this one was just over $700, and I'll explain. So during the morning, I said that price kind of broke through that major downtrend line on the higher time frame. Then we saw the flush, and my first instinct was, okay, try a long right here, support. I did try the long 250 shares. Price pretty much pushed up, over $1. Holding my shares, and then price flushes down. So it flushes down, and I take it off for a small loss. That's how we get this big wick down here. And I did kind of make a mistake, because I was honestly trying to size into this push a little bit, which is not a good idea, because if I don't know where this is going, then I'm essentially just buying the knife. Thankfully I realized what I was doing, and I began to just trim the position and pretty much get out. So I managed to get out of this position, and I just waited. Price rallied again, and as it came back into this level, now I have a reason to get long, because I can risk off of here. It's going to make a potential higher low, and this is the setup. So I get in with some more size, and yeah, we push up again, and as you see, we run into resistance. So that's where I took my profit. And, that's part of, systematic trading, is that you're taking off trades, or you're putting on trades based on the chart and not really based on like an overall thesis. And so you do sometimes, end up missing these very large moves. But again, how would you be able to predict that, AMD was going to run, another $1.50? So yeah, that was my trade on AMD. It was pretty much just trying to make sense of this choppy action here before we actually got the breakout of this downtrend line right here. So I was pretty much messing around right here. And yeah, that was my trade on AMD. And yeah, guys, I mean, going over, these other trades, from what I can recall, none of them had that great of price action to where there would be anything substantial to learn from. So yeah, that will be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.